Oh god.
That's like a steaming dog. Don't you know how I did it?
Yeah, I do know.
Oh man.
Hi everybody, welcome back to the Our Smiling Faces podcast, brought to you by Guillermo Clothing and GEORDIE Gifts. So lads.
Oh god. Well.
So all with smiling faces.
We've got smiling faces at the minute.
It's going to be all with faces soon, isn't it?
Yeah, we're just happy people, I guess. Either laugh or cry, I guess, really, isn't it?
Where do we even start with this one?
The end. 1-0 to
Let's start at the beginning.
Okay.
Aye. So line-up, Line-up. I have to start with a line-up.
As you were,
It was
wasn't it?
unchanged, which surprised me
Yeah.
to bits, to be honest with you. I definitely thought after that second half performance that there'd be changes.
It was desperate for a change after that Arsenal
yeah.
second half.
Do you think that he kept the same team as if to go like, listen, I'm putting faith in you to go and prove us wrong or prove people wrong, or there's another chance? Or
I think that's what he thinks is his best team.
Well, he's wrong.
Christ.
He's definitely wrong.
Yeah.
So if you're making changes in that starting 11,
Well, in fairness, Clark was out, wasn't he? So
Yeah, Clark was injured,
So there
yeah,
was only one
yeah.
change. Actually, thinking of it now, yeah.
so
Yeah.
Clark was injured. Fernandez on the left,
Fernandez was on the left, yeah, and Cher on the
and
right.
Shea was on the right.
The cells in the middle.
Right. So changes that you would have made.
Well, I would
First of all, Danny Rose wouldn't have started for
I
me.
would have totally changed the formation, me like.
So let's say if we just put the formation on one side, because there's a lot of formation questions in the question answer, a lot of them. So just start 11, so just body for body, same positions. So for me, Danny Rose definitely
I would
doesn't get
have
started.
Richie and Yedlin in.
Yeah. Was Yedlin on the bench this week? I didn't even pay
Yedlin
much
was on the
attention.
bench,
Was he?
yeah.
Yeah, he was. I agree with him. Yeah, I would say so. Yeah.
Centre mid, Hayden would be back in there for me. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure who I'd take out. Probably Bentelev, I would probably say. In fact, I don't know, because both Bazzi to
Are you
that.
not saying that just in hindsight of?
But if that's the case, I could say that was against Longstaff as well, because he was just as bad.
I mean, with Sean, I have to say, he has got legs. Like, I mean,
He grafts.
He does graft, and
Yeah.
and I'm not saying he's been poor. I thought Saturday he was very poor actually, but the one thing that he does give you is legs, and he's constantly trying his best to press and work hard. I don't even think Bentley does that.
Well, I did notice a few times that we haven't seen for quite a while is Longstaff was pressing them in possession. When they had it in their back four, he was like right up alongside. There was him in the middle, Joe and Miggy were up like as they were putting it backwards and forwards across the back four, trying to get it back.
I think Hayden offers, so much protection. Offer so much protection. It would possibly give Sean the licence to maybe go forward better.
Yeah.
And in fairness, his best performances hasn't been many this season. Have come from further up the field.
He's been a lot further forward
Yeah.
up the pitch though, hasn't he?
We've criticised Hayden over the seasons, saying he spends a lot of time on the deck. Do you think sometimes he does that just to calm the game down slightly?
Well, it certainly, yes, I certainly get what you're saying. There's a lot of people who would say that it's like something tactical, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, maybe another cosh a little bit, so I'll go down, have a few
Yeah.
minutes rest, because I always say he loves to lie down. It's a
Yeah.
bit of a joke, but I agree with what you're saying. I agree with what you're saying.
Because we haven't, I know we're looking at this in hindsight, but we haven't seen that, have we? And probably because the last two games we've had what horses handed, well, the last 90 minutes of football and the 45 before that, we've literally had what horses handed to us. And I want to go back to both, but to before kick-off. You done the waste here for Andy this week.
Yeah.
So he set you up with, it was Proud and Palace podcast. And you're speaking to someone there, so for people that haven't listened to that or watched that even, explain what the Palace fan was saying.
Well, to be honest, lots of it felt like it was us. Like it was if she was talking about us. They don't create any chances. The first 70 minutes, they don't do anything. They've got no legs. They don't counter-attack. They don't press. They don't do this. They don't shoot. They don't score. It literally sounded awful.
Yeah.
And also bearing in mind that the stats, even though she said that, look at the stats. They've scored less goals than what we have, and I think we're the worst. So categorically proves that they're a poor side. And my heavens, we made them look like Barca at times.
Yeah.
I hate to say that, but we did.
To be fair though, they did create a lot of chances, but they weren't really great chances.
You're saying that
like,
Dubravka pulled the best two I've ever seen?
Two, but they were from set pieces rather than
Well, yeah, fair comment. Fair comment.
I would say in the first 20 minutes we could have been 3-0 down.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
The chances that they had.
Well, they had 2 from the corners. I mean, there was that good save from Cahill.
Cahill, yeah.
Where he does it. I think he did another one from the other. Who's the other centre? What? Scott Dan? Is that?
I can't remember, mate.
I think
Those
it
two
was.
similar saves. Those two very similar.
Yeah.
Which
the first one was amazing.
It shows you how good that save is when the goalkeepers are coming out.
Yeah.
And tweeting photos of that save.
Gary Cahill.
Gary Cahill, Alisson has today.
At the time, it didn't. It looked a good save, but it didn't look as good as it actually was when you look at it back. It just looked like it was a nice reaction to get to it. But
the second one was a reaction. You know what I mean? It was more sort of down his throat in a sense. That one is he is as full as he can get. You know, it was an amazing save. Like, but again,
not full for the free kick.
Well,
we'll get on the free kick in a bit.
I think again, me worry. I'm sure I messaged straight away when I seen the lineup that we had 2 in midfield and then 3, and me worry straight away was, well, can I get outrun again? And obviously you're hoping that we can counteract that somehow, maybe because technically we should have more on the wings, right? Technically, because you've got two potential.
You've got to get the balls there.
Well, that's true.
That's the problem, isn't it?
We're so bad in possession, aren't we?
It's horrendous, mate. I can't remember a time where it's been as bad, where we're literally picking the ball up in defence, and we're not even making it out one half the times, man. But it's nothing to do with the other team. It's literally us just passing it to nobody.
Well,
a yard short every single player on the pitch.
So it was the most possession we've had all season on Saturday. I think we had like
56, I think.
Somewhere around there. Like well over, which again just backs up that whole argument.
Was it the Burnley game as well? Where
stats mean
was another game where we had a lot of possession, we lost it. I can't remember which game that was.
I think it was Burnley.
Was it Burnley?
I think it was Burnley. Yeah.
Well, that's it. It's that, like you're saying, it's 2 similar teams as they don't mind the other team having possession of the ball because they then want to hit on the counter attack. I mean, Jordan Ayew probably had the greatest game he's had in years.
Good player.
He was up against Danny Rose, who just didn't look interested at all, bar probably the first 5 or 10 minutes.
I felt a bit for Shea because he's playing the left of the 3.
That's what I couldn't figure out.
Yeah, he's not used to playing there.
No, he's really not. And you could clearly see that. You know what I mean? And that's a bit harsh on him, I think, because it's. But what can you do? Clark's out. You're gonna have to put someone there.
Yeah.
I mean, Fernandez has played the right of the 3 for week after week after week. So.
Well, you just would have thought, is that the option to bring in Lejeune, who naturally plays on that left side?
I wonder if there's something maybe wrong with him. I wonder because he hasn't. He's been on the bench a lot, like, but he's not playing.
Was he on the bench on?
I think he was. I think he was. Should have really checked it out. I think he was.
Now we should have checked out. I don't think anyone's on bothered about this match.
It's just like again we spoke about it yesterday. Lazaro again starting is this right wing back. I mean, no offence here, right? But you've got Van Aanholt and if I pronounce his name, and then in Zaha. That's not a bad left hand.
To be fair though,
and running at this poor lad.
I think he kept Zaha pretty quiet.
Well, no, at times he did. I mean, but what I'm saying though is I'm talking about hindsight here. Before a game, if I was a manager before a game, you've had your arse pulled out against an 18-year-old for Arsenal, right? And you're away again the next game. You've really had a torrid time. But it's I think your handles are on here. But I don't know about that as management. That's not great. Like
the top, and I even think like, is he playing the 3 new signings just because they're his new signings rather than the deserve to be?
So we mentioned this. So we done a reaction yesterday. I know it was a day after, but the dust had settled a little bit. We weren't as angry as we were the day before, so we'll let the dust settle a little bit. Basically, I started the podcast before we start recording, just saying we're going to call them all wankers, I think. and
I mean them in a bit on that one.
Yesterday's episode was sponsored by disappointment. But we said, does it feel as if we're just forcing those players in because they're new players? And there's players in there that have dropped and lost the starting position, Hayden and Richie being 2 that spring.
Well, Richie wasn't playing though, to be fair, was he?
He had a couple of games on his belt after injury, like. Yedlin's another one. I know Yedlin was injured for a couple of weeks, but still, those are your 3 starting players you would argue with. Obviously, Williams, he was injured, so Richie was a natural fit to come in there.
Yeah, of course.
So you would say Richie, Yedlin, and Hayden are the 3 that have really dropped the positions. Hayden was filling in a lot at right back.
But Hayden was playing alongside Bentaleb at the start, and then it's only the last couple of games.
He kept on getting shifted, didn't he? Your right wing back, Hayden, like halfway through the game.
Aye, because we didn't have another right back to go over there.
I still don't think we'll have, mate, because Lazaro's definitely not a right wing back, like 100%.
It was said that when we signed him, he's a right winger, and he shows that going forward. that he is much more attack-minded. But when you're asking him to defend, you're asking him to do something that's, all right, not alien to him, but it's not his.
It's not natural.
His natural position and what he does.
Bruce has set him out for the slaughter there, like he has.
But I don't know, because as I say, to be fair, he handles Zaha pretty well. Zaha didn't do that much really. It was all down the other side through Ayew that most of their attacks were coming.
There was a moment, I'm really going to fast forward here, but there was a moment in the second half where Zaha fell over and then got back on his feet. Yeah. Just rinsed him and went past Fernandes if he was on the field. And then they hit the post from that. Shea again fell on. Oh,
that was Ayew again, wasn't it?
It was just awful. But
that's worrying for a player to fall over, have the time to get back up, control it, get past two players in the box and set up a chance.
And that's where you expect your midfield, who are sitting in front of your defenders anyway, to be right banging in and getting that.
There was times in the game as well where I know we're not really covering any sort of like progress in this game. We're just going to hide out there because let's be honest, there's nothing really serious that we can talk about Newcastle because it was flat from start to finish. And there was one chance, but I want to mention Bentaleb. Every time you lost the ball, you knew it was him. And it was ridiculous. And it was as if he was trying his hardest not to have the ball.
He kept getting robbed in possession. I can remember 3 or 4 times where, and I think it was probably because
he needs more time on the ball, mate.
In credit to Palace, they were closing down straight away and trying to break up the play, like not letting us settle on the ball, which obviously Bentaleb wanted a bit more time, so he kept getting robbed the possession and they would start attacks from there.
But only after the first, second, third time, you realise how high they're pressing you, so you don't hold on to it as long. You pass a move.
I don't. There's a few things you can look at. A couple is one. I totally agree. Every time I watched the whole game when I was watching, we lost the ball again. It would be him. I don't know what the movement's like in front of him. I mean, he may be collecting the ball and looking, and there might just be nothing there.
Yeah.
But I still agree. You still have to change your game a little bit because you're just losing the ball all the time. The other thing is as well, and I mentioned this to someone at work today, was I feel the intensity of our overall play is just gone. It's just not there, is it? There's everything we do is pedestrianary. Everything. We'll pass the ball around the back. That's slow. We'll get into midfield. That's slow. We'll lose the ball. Getting back, we're slow. When the opposition's got the ball, we're pressed. It's slow.
And for a team that we've since the start of the season, we've probably classed ourselves as a counter-attacking team. Yeah. It's not even that anymore.
Well, we're counter-attack slow.
Aye.
Everything.
We'll lose the ball. Then see if it comes back and we'll get it into a defence and we can't even build it up anymore. Like it's literally there's nothing there going forward.
Honestly,
well, I'm going to go back a week here, but you go back to the Arsenal game and the one where we talked about where St. Maximum got into the box and put it across the face of the goal. So that came from our own half of Joe Linton getting the ball in midfield and playing it out to St. Maximum. Arsenal managed to get 7 players back behind that ball. 7 players.
It just shows how, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not lazy.
And we didn't get one to help, that's what you mean, I guess. Yeah, is that what you're saying, sorry?
It's not lazy. I don't know what's the word without sounding too hard.
It's just it's
lack of ideas, isn't it? It's lack of ideas.
There's no urgency.
That's the word I kept using today, was urgency. Like
urgent.
I don't understand why it's like, but it's not just one area of the game, is it though? It's not, you can't just, it's the whole situation.
It stems from midfield, and it stems from those two sitting on the toes of the central defender, like we have for the last couple of seasons, because Shelby and Hayden did it.
Yeah.
But when we're in possession, we would at least try and get forward with it. I'm not even seeing that at the minute.
There's huge problems. Like the things are going through my head and I can't see them.
It's normally at the end of the game where a lot of fans will look straight away at this attacking 3 and blame someone. Normally Joe Linton on there. Joe Linton had probably the only memorable shot on target, I would say.
Him and Shea had a
great
shot as well,
Shea's deflected.
It was actually.
Yeah. A bit of one,
but Joe Linton's shot. It was a great shot.
He did really well. He did good.
Outside the box, he just looks up and shoots.
Well, this is to be fair. This is something which I don't know if I've mentioned. I'm sure I'm going back months now. Like this is a problem, but there's a few times where I've said he gets the ball, he'll collect it and turn, and he actually gets in areas where I think he should, but he holds onto the ball a bit.
Yeah.
This time he physically got on and he almost thought, "Fuck it, I'm gonna have a go."
Yeah.
And he hit it really well. It was a good save.
Yeah.
But again though, you're going back to a team who hasn't won in 2 months. I haven't won since Boxing Day, right? that's the only shot we had a goal, I believe. Well, I know we won about the shot. They're from both of them attempts are 35 to 40 yards out from goal.
Rose had a one as well, which.
Well, it was a bit of deflection.
To that, yeah. Say maximum where he put it across.
Again, it would have been nice.
That's when it came out for Shea.
Aye, so that's one. That's still one.
It was that same like, piece of play.
In 90 minutes to only create that, it's just not good enough.
And that's it. And people keep blowing Joe. Blowing?
He might be getting blown outside here, mate. Jesus.
Keep blaming Joe Linton, but if you're not creating chances, it doesn't matter who you've got up front on the end of it, they're not going to score.
Well, you know, in fairness, I mean, again, we're not having any, like with performance, there's no sort of arrangement here, but we can fast forward to Gale coming on. We didn't change formation or style or tactic, and we just pumped it long.
Did he touch the ball?
Gale was on the pitch for 15 minutes before he touched the ball.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I can't remember anything where
he touched it 8 times, apparently, in total.
Throw-ins?
But again, though, listen,
so it just proves the point is it doesn't matter who you've got up there unless you change the way you play.
And the point I was trying to make, as I've always said, is the only way it'll work a little bit is if we have someone that can physically hold up the ball. And Joe Linton and Gale can't do that. Gale certainly can. Christ, maybe put that pint glass up front, let's be fair. But absolutely, they're not going to be able to hold the ball. I actually thought, and you're going to laugh here because you know that I stick up for him a bit, I thought Saint had a poor game. But I actually thought when he went down the middle, he held it up quite well at times. The ball stuck with him a little bit. But you can tell, though, again, him up front on his own, you lose what he does on the other, on that left, don't you? Totally lose it.
Obviously, in our WhatsApp, that group, I point out, like all of a sudden, obviously, is Joe playing on the left and Saint in the middle?
All of the second half.
Yeah, he changed it, yeah.
And they kept on swapping, didn't they, back and forwards?
Yeah. Now, you see, again, if we were good enough, Liverpool do that, and I know we're not Liverpool, but the front three interchange a lot. Yeah?
It's great to have that option.
And it would be nice to see Saint want to be the middle, Joe comes out left, Almiron switches, I don't know. Be a little bit more fluid. As I keep saying about everyone's position, we're just so static, it is absolutely incredible. I mean, you could close your eyes and I'm telling you, you could tell me where the ball is, I'd say, right, he's got it, they don't move anywhere, do they? They're not fluid at all.
And that comes from that lack of urgency, lack of movement in the middle of the park, and that huge gap that you've got between those two and the front three. Because
why do you think the urgency's gone? What do you think that's Bruce? Do you think it's just the players' attitude? They're feeling sorry for themselves. What do you think?
It's just flat throughout, isn't it?
Really flat. It's really
flat. I can't put an answer in. Obviously, you immediately think management, and is that the case? Or do the players have to take a lot of blame for this one?
You look at the manager, but like I just said before, that you still had our two midfielders sitting in front of the back four. Last season, the season before, Shelvey and Hayden used to do it constantly. But
I've said in the last podcast, the thing that we're missing is probably Shelvey in that midfield.
But he's still going to be hitting long balls, isn't he? But we're not even doing that at the minute.
At least going forward.
Yeah.
It's hard to put. I know I don't want to get on to changing formation because I know we'll get there. Maybe the Q&A, I don't know, but
it needs to happen.
It needs to happen, doesn't it? And there's some. I do feel I was watching some videos. I was trying to find some of last year, not the going back like, but I was watching were fullbacks, you know, like that.
That was what I was just about to get on.
They were so much higher up the field.
So the difference is, even though we had two sat in midfield, what you did have was your right back and your right wingers linking up very well. Start of the season, it was Yedlin and Ritchie down the right, and then obviously Almiron came in and went inside, so we changed it a little bit, but there was a great understanding there. Down the left-hand side, you had...
Well, the clips I was watching, believe it or not, was actually Ritchie and Kennedy were linking up quite well. I know Kennedy was dreadful the second period.
Well, that's when then Ritchie went across the other side, didn't he?
And I just found that we still had the two holding midfield, as you mentioned, but our fullbacks were so much higher up the field than what I'm seeing Rose do. And in fairness to Lazaro, actually, the first half, I actually thought all the best stuff did come from that side of the field. It wasn't much best stuff, mind you, but there was one, there was one where we worked it really well in the box, and I think I was shouting shoot loads of times. Longstaff got it, and he hit it literally over the stand. These are good areas of the field we're getting in as well, do you know what I mean? We've got to be doing better. Because we don't create enough as it is, but Christ, when we do.
We mentioned against Arsenal, Lazaro was taking the corners, and they were okay against Arsenal.
There was one
against
against
Palace.
Did it go out?
Yes.
One that went out.
Did he?
As soon as he took the corner kick.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Was that not after? That may have been after Joe Linton's shot, actually.
It could have been. Yeah, I think it was.
You're
right.
Could have been. But Lazaro's corners were beating the first man, expected to, but they're just landing at the first post, at the front post every single time. for the defender on the post just to get rid of.
In fairness, the Crystal Palace have got big centre halves, which obviously is why they cause the problems.
So we're just attempting not to get it on the pitch now.
No, but like putting it like right into the middle of there, you're going to struggle up against them, which we struggled at the other end because they were winning everything coming the other way. But
we had a bit of success, I remember, through short corners a little while ago. We had this little arrangement, remember? Williams is on.
Scored three goals from very similar stuff with Saint and Willems taking the shot at each other and then whipping it.
Someone
like
would whip it
movement, but
they don't even
that
do
creativity
that
seems to have gone from like
it's all gone.
Something different.
Ideas, urgency, everything's gone. Everything's gone, and it worries me massively what I'm seeing at the minute. Like, and I said last week that every week I see we'll get worse. On Saturday, it was again the worst. It got worse than I've seen previously. I hate to say that.
It's clutching at straws, but I think the first 5 or 10 minutes and the last 5 to 10 minutes were played pretty well. There was a bit of urgency there. In little flashes, we played some nice stuff.
I thought Almiron was dreadful.
Almiron wasn't in the game, was
Headless chicken one in that time.
But that's that linking up between your midfield, your defence need to link up with them front three, because that gap just gets bigger and bigger to them. At times, Joe Linton was having to come and play left back.
The majority of the time, he was in his own half.
Back in his own half defending, because the rest of the team was sat.
Well, what worries us about it is we don't have it where we've got defence, midfield, strikers, or attacking, or forwards, whatever you want to call them. You've literally got defenders,
an attack.
There's literally a middle of the pitch, nothing, absolutely nothing, which is why teams are just walking through the middle.
And it needs you need, and like I'm jumping onto formation, but you need to change it and get even more bodies.
If just as a trial run, it means dropping one of those front three to force another one into midfield.
I honestly don't think you need to.
Try it.
I don't think you need to. If it was me, and it might fall on its arse massively, but I would go 4-2-3-1.
But we're back to the massive conversation we had last week, is we can't play 4 at the back yet. And I think if we do, we'll just get ragged, man. We'll just get ragged.
But we've got. You're essentially going back to what we were playing last season when we had with full-backs and with wingers, because you can play. I know he's going to be out for three matches, but Lazaro can play right wing.
That's only one, I think, isn't it? It's not just one for a professional. This is not just one.
Red card, so he's out for 3 games.
Is it? I thought that was only violent conduct now.
I thought it was 2 actually, but there you go. We've done a research.
That's what the commentator at the time said. That's a 3 match ban.
I wouldn't believe them either.
I think there's a lot of what you're saying is absolutely right. I do agree. I would love to see 4-2-3-1. For me personally, I think we've got to go 2 up front, and that means 1's next to Joe. Simple as that. And you play 3 in midfield to give you that protection, right? I would personally play Hayden. Well, if Shelby was available, I'd play Hayden and Shelby, and then I'd actually still play Sean and allow Sean to maybe play further up. But then I suppose, having said what I've just said there, I still would like to have Almiron in there as well. I still think Almiron can do that.
Putting Miggy in behind is that centre of that 3.
Yeah.
With Saint out left, Lazaro out right, Miggy, and then Joe.
You're playing 4 at the back of that series, yeah. So if we kept it the way I think we would play it, I'd have 3 in centre midfield and give you full-backs license to go forward more. Be that Yedlin, Manquillo, whoever's available. Probably Richie, I'd say at the moment on that side.
Even on the pre-match graphics and stuff like that, it lined it up as a 3-4-2-1 with like a midfield 4 essentially of Lazaro, the 2 in the centre, and
well, that's what's funny, isn't it? When you see graphics like that, and you know, don't you? You see, that's not going to be that. It'll be 10 at the back. Like,
but if it was, it at least gives you that. Having them a bit higher stops them attacking down the wings as much, because you're stopping them higher up the pitch. The 3 can then deal with the 3 that they had in attack, because that's them there.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. The thing, you can talk and discuss formations and personnel till you're blue in the face. The one thing that, again, I question it is the desire and the sort of tenacity, the urgency. That's just gone. You can have any formation you want, but if you're going to play at that sort of level of intensity, you're fucked. I'm sorry, you are.
There was that stupid thing that was happening again, which we constantly get caught out by, is when they go and play between our defensive line and our midfield line, and not one of them picks them up because they're in that no man's land between the 2 lines, and it's like, oh well, the midfield think, well, he's behind me, so it's not my job. The defence saying, well, he's too far in front for me to pick him up because I'm going to have to push.
Considering how deep with centre midfielders are as well, it's quite incredible that they can't pick someone up. But again, you got Benteke up front, right? He's as fast as this Shiva doll, man. He's the slowest player I've ever seen. And we're on the edge of our own box defending immediately. We need to be so much higher up the field, man. It's just there's so much wrong, and there's no way you can put that right. Honestly, overnight, like
you know what it is? They were shite except for Ayew. He was the only one that was doing anything.
I thought Van Aanholt played well, actually. I thought he played okay, but again though, as I said, as I keep repeating myself, I just felt that them wanted it a lot more than we did from minute one.
And that's, from minute one. And that is the thing, and that is what catches us out. Yeah, and makes us have those bad performances, is when somebody has more energy and more desire and effort to want to have that ball.
And I'd almost say every player on the pitch did. I honestly really feel that, man.
We're back to the situation what we're under McLaren, where we're under Pardew, where you come up with the games where a player hasn't scored for X amount of games, a team hasn't won for X amount of games. Up step Newcastle United. In the steamroll.
We've done it back-to-back games here, because like I said, hadn't scored in about 100 years. He scored off the bench, and then you've got this game they haven't won since Boxing Day. They haven't won this year. They'll beat us. It's just not on, man. Sorry, and to go to the goal, we haven't even covered it. Sorry, I have to cover it. The share there, that's just lack of discipline, concentration. Again, frustration. I don't know. The ball's gone. There's no reason to try and.
I'm going to interrupt you.
Sorry. Yeah.
So, while we're talking about Lazaro, I text Matthew Raisbeck to see how many games.
Oh.
So he says, hello. He just misses one match because it was a professional foul, so he'll be back for the West Brom game.
Oh, well, that's all right.
That's good news, as long as he's not playing right wing back.
But I also feel his confidence, poor lad. You know, coming into a country you don't know, never played in the league. He comes in and he's getting rinsed on one game, no offence, and then sent off this one. Like, it's a terrible start for his career, like for his loan spell.
You know what it is?
And that sending off was Longstaff's.
There was no need for him to do.
It was Longstaff's fault, like.
It was.
But again though, that sending off came from our attack.
Well, that's what he's saying. Longstaff is on the ball.
We were at the edge of that box.
Yeah, just dispossessed once again though, and it's a counter attack.
Do you know what worries us with that one massively as well? I've watched it a few times. Right, you're right in what you say. Longstaff gets the ball and he carries it a little bit, has a thing. Now, bearing in mind, then play one pass and he's got one defender to beat. So Longstaff has the ball. Now, if we only had one person at the back who eventually got sent off, that means every player, well, maybe two. Well, eventually Fernandez ran back. We had every player in their half at that time, and we still had no ideas.
The last 5 or 10 minutes, we actually were starting to play and cause them troubles and stuff like that.
Well, that's not we're starting to play. I think we're just starting to move a bit up the field.
But you say that though. You say we're causing them trouble. I'll go back to what I said. The only shot we had was Shea. That was before the goal. You know what I mean? Like it's just terrible. Like it's
right. So there you go. I interrupt you there because
So
the free kick.
Shea dives in terribly, right?
Lazy, innit?
But the thing is with Shea, as much as I like him, he has that in him, doesn't he? Yeah. Where he'll just leave someone on one for no reason whatsoever.
That's a similar tackle to a kind of tackle what Hayden does in the dying minutes of a game.
Didn't someone do one?
It wasn't even in the dying minutes of the game.
Well, that's first half, wasn't it?
Minutes or something.
No, it was later than that. It's 44th. Scored.
Was there not a game recently? It might have been the Arsenal game where someone just fouled someone for no reason whatsoever, and I said it was a callback foul. It was like
Fernandez did it against Villa. Didn't he twice?
Well, God,
it happens a couple of times a game now.
It just seems to happen.
Richie does it quite a bit as well.
We'll give foul. Oh, it was that game.
Was it Richie?
Oxford away, they got the free kick. Richie just for no reason brings it down. Like, we'll just give fouls away where there's no reason to do so. And then the free kick, obviously, well, yes. I mean, he steps to his left, doesn't he? And if he doesn't step to his left, he saves that all day.
Yeah, he steps behind his wall, didn't he?
Good free kick.
It was a good free kick.
It was, should be doing it back.
When you see it from the angle, but you can see how much room he's got. I kind of understand why. Because, like, Dubravka was shouting for ages and ages at the wall, getting them organised and stuff before he takes it. And then he comes over, but then he's standing smack bang in the middle of his goal.
Who is?
Dubravka.
No.
He's standing.
He's not. He jumps to the left, doesn't he?
No, well, he starts off standing central. And then, as he starts to run up, he thinks this is coming up over the wall into that top, so he takes that step and it just blasts straight past
But I don't understand.
But when you look at it from taking it, there's a huge
You look at that camera angle behind the ball, as if
Van Aanholt's... Like, literally, there's that much space for him.
The wall is literally, like, centred left, like where Dubravka is standing. So if you shift that wall a little bit to the side, then Dubravka's got a full view of whichever way that ball's going to go. If it goes to the right, hopefully the wall's there to stop it. But it just seems like it beats the wall and Dubravka.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying. Though, but if Dubravka had just lined himself up with the edge of the wall, then there's nowhere for him to hit here. But it's as if he's like Because he wasn't even inviting them to put it in that corner by being right across to the right and saying, I'm going to leave this big gap behind because the wall are covering it, to encourage you to put it there. He's actually standing in the middle, which is inviting him to put it to the right of him, but he still goes to the left.
Was he positioned as they took the free kick, or was he still
He was stood smack bang in the middle of the goal.
Because it's that step to the left that kills it.
I don't think he was. Nah, I disagree. I disagree. Saying bang in
And
the
then
middle.
he steps to the left and then goes back to the right.
I think
sounds like a song.
I think he was more. I'm not saying he was on the right, but he wasn't smack bang in the middle. I didn't feel. I thought he was to the right.
Of the way into the goal.
And he's the one where if he stays where he is, he's able to almost just take one step to the right and save it. The issue is, of course, as we've discussed, is that step to the left has killed him. I still believe you don't make a wall there, you know. I still feel I don't know why you always have to have 4, 5, 6 players in a wall from that far out, because you're almost making it hard for you to see. Maybe just put 2 or 3 in the wall, right? Which is still covering that side, and your goalkeeper does maybe take more of a centre, but he's got loads of more time to see the ball. I almost feel by putting so many bodies in front of him, you're making your job harder, because that's why they brought for gambles. He at that moment in time, he doesn't know where the ball is, so he's just taking a gamble, and obviously
he lost sight of it when he moves.
Have a look. Aye, to be fair, no, you're right there. Aye. Yeah, no, you're right. Aye, probably is. He is in the middle. Oh, he definitely shifts. Yeah. Aye, he is very central, isn't he?
No, he's smack bang.
Ah, that's just
strange.
Aye, that is strange positioning to be in the middle like that. Like, yeah, it really is.
But then when you see it from here, it's just inviting it.
Yeah, it's very.
So he's in the middle, then he takes another step to the left.
So he's standing there in the middle, steps that way, and then goes.
Aye, he's about. Aye.
He's anticipating, thinking he's going that way. Yeah. But he's literally just saying, put it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's bad goalkeeping. That.
Yeah,
but I'm not blaming him for that. No way. After he saved us so many times in that first half, not a chance.
It was a good free kick. You know, you've got to do something to save it, but it's just disappointing, isn't it? Because yes, they had chances, but that was probably it's a free shot, isn't it? Really?
Horrible time to concede as well.
Right on smack bang.
44, yeah, that's right. Yeah, what a terrible time, yeah. And
saying that, they had another chance just after that as well. They could have scored again.
And we never got back into the game in any stage. And as I said yesterday to you, my concern is when we go a goal behind now, I have no faith in we're getting back in the game.
Well, there was a stat that came out that said that Palace have never lost the game for months and months and months when taking the lead.
Well,
so.
Oh well.
It's just. I tell you what it is. We're just lucky that we've got this 7-point cushion at the moment. Like, you go back to this 8-game stretch that we talked about last week. Imagine, let's say the Everton game, for example. There's a point we shouldn't have gotten. Probably the Chelsea game we shouldn't have gotten all 3, right? You know, just for argument's sake. So there's 4 points we had no real right of getting. I don't think we could have been in the absolute mire, but we're not. We're not. That's what I'm saying. We're lucky we're not.
You make your own luck though, don't you? That's so.
I'm with a lot of people at the moment, and I hate to say this. The performances that we're delivering at the moment are no real difference than what they were. We're now just getting the results we probably did deserve when we were winning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? We're just getting what we deserve. And I hate to
the
say
luck's
that.
run out, hasn't it?
But I think
a little bit, yeah. And still the desire. Mark said last week, which was right, that at least we've seen reactions a little bit when we went behind. In the Everton game, for example, we still scored 2 in a minute. We're not even seeing that now.
Yeah.
That's me.
And it comes back to that age-old thing of that we've seen time and time again, that we don't demand a team that wins, we demand a team that tries, and we're not
seeing the
we're not seeing that.
No, we're not.
Until bloody 80 minutes are on the clock.
Right, we'll wrap this one up. So thanks for watching, thanks for listening, everyone. This podcast was brought to you by urgency.
The lack of
urgency. See you later.